Welcome to another story made by Oracle One. In the muted white corridors of St. Mercy Hospital, time seemed to stretch with a slow, unyielding patience. Machines hummed gently beside beds, punctuating the quiet with beeps and sighs that filled the sterile air. 2 rooms down the hall, in the 6th ward, 2 patients lived their separate existences within the confines of their hospital beds, unknowingly tethered by a quiet, unspoken connection that would grow stronger with each passing day. Elsa Harper had been at St. Mercy for 3 weeks. At 28, she was young enough to be stubborn and hopeful, yet old enough to understand the fragility that clung to her like a shadow. She had been admitted after a severe bout of pneumonia that left her lungs weak and her body tethered to oxygen tubes and IV lines. Each day was a battle not only against the illness but against the creeping loneliness that came with isolation in a hospital. In the bed across the narrow hallway was Jonah Miller, a man in his early 30s with unruly dark hair and sharp, inquisitive eyes that bore the weight of unspoken stories. His injury, a complex spinal surgery after a car accident, had rendered him unable to speak as the vocal cords had been strained during recovery. Communication had dwindled to scribbles on notepads and fleeting eye contact. Like Elsa, he carried a guarded heart, wrapped in a veil of pain and recovery. Their first interaction was unintended, a brush of hands when a nurse had mistakenly wheeled Elsa's chair too close to Jonah's bedside. The contact was brief and accidental, but in the sterile monotony, it felt profound. Elsa's fingers lingered just a moment longer, and Jonah's eyes met hers with a glint of curiosity and recognition. No words were exchanged, only a silent acknowledgement of shared vulnerability. Days passed in a rhythm of hospital's life, tests, medications, visitors who came and went. Yet between Elsa and Jonah a quiet routine began to form, woven through stolen glances and moments when the world outside their rooms dissolved, leaving them suspended in a delicate bubble of connection. It began with a touch. One afternoon, Elsa noticed Jonah's hand resting near the edge of his bed, his fingers twitching slightly in discomfort. On a whim of empathy, she reached out, crossing the small distance between their rooms just enough to place her hand gently over his. Jonah's eyes widened in surprise but did not pull away. Instead, he shifted his hand slowly to intertwine fingers with her. The warmth between them was a balm neither had realized they craved. Neither spoke, but in that silent exchange was a conversation as old as time, a mutual reassurance that they were not alone. Nurses noticed the small gesture, glancing with soft smiles as the 2 patients held hands across the hallway, their touch a tether between 2 souls adrift. Days melted into weeks. The hospital's daily bustle became the backdrop to a quiet ritual. Each afternoon, Elsa would wheel herself down the hallway to Jonah's room, and without words, they would hold hands, their fingers weaving stories of resilience and hope. In the moments when they were apart, their eyes sought each other through the glass windows of their rooms, sharing silent sonnets and glances. When spoken communication failed, they found new ways. Elsa began leaving notes on napkins, tucking them beneath Jonah's door, her handwriting neat and flowing. The notes were simple, thoughts about the weather, small jokes, and quotes from poems she loved. Jonah, in turn, would respond in careful script, crafting his replies with painstaking effort on the small paper sheets. Each note was a thread adding strength to the tapestry of their bond. "I look forward to these moments more than anything else," she wrote one evening, the hospital lights dimming outside her window. "You make this place feel less lonely." His reply was equally tender. "You remind me that healing can happen in silence and in small touches." The connection deepened, becoming a sanctuary amid the clinical walls. They learned each other's rhythms, the way Jonah's fingers curled when he was anxious, how Elsa's eyes sparkled with the faintest hint of a smile even on her worst days. One chilly winter evening, a snowstorm closed the streets outside, trapping visitors and staff within the hospital. Elsa and Jonah found themselves alone in the 6th ward, the usual bustle replaced by an eerie quiet. Elsa's hand sought Jonah's again, and for the first time, she sat beside his bed, not in a wheelchair but on the small visitor's chair provided, her breath warm on his skin despite the chill in the air. As the storm raged outside, inside the hospital room, Jonah carefully unfolded a napkin, a worn, creased piece of their growing correspondence. On it was a message drawn with a shaky hand but clear intent. A heart, simple and unadorned, with 2 names beneath it, Elsa and Jonah. She smiled, tears brimming in her eyes, and squeezed his hand tightly in response. That night, with monitors softly beeping as a lullaby, they sat side by side, hands entwined, connected not just by circumstance but by an unwavering promise. The promise that amidst pain and silence, love had found a way to bloom. Weeks turned to months. Elsa's strength grew, and the day came when she could wheel herself to visit Jonah for longer stretches. Despite the progress, neither felt the need to speak aloud when their unspoken language said everything. Their bond was a testament to the power of touch and the eloquence of shared silences. On the day Elsa was discharged, the hospital room felt emptier and fuller all at once. Jonah's eyes glimmered with something close to joy and longing. Elsa pressed a final note into his hand, a handwritten promise to meet again, outside these walls. "I will wait," it read simply. In the months that followed, their story unfolded beyond the hospital's white walls. The silent hand-holding and napkin notes became memories cherished deeply, the foundation of a love built patiently, tenderly, without a single word spoken but with 1,000 unshakable connections. Elsa and Jonah's bond proved that sometimes, love does not need voices to be heard. It resonates in glances that hold lifetimes, in the gentle clasp of hands that heal, and in the quiet moments where hearts speak louder than words ever could. For more stories, like and subscribe.